There were almost 5,500 active satellites in orbit as of spring 2022. Earlier this month, NASA announced that the International Space Station had to fire its thrusters for. Some scientists and experts are advocating for a treaty to govern space debris. The space junk problem is out of hand. And now, scientists are calling for a legally binding treaty that will make sure that our planet's orbit is not irreparably damaged before we irreversibly destroy the prospects of space exploration. Earlier this month, a draft international agreement referred to as the On-High Seas Treaty was finalized to control how countries treat open seas, or a majority of the world's oceans that lie beyond the jurisdiction of any one country. Writing in the journal Science, an international group of researchers believe that we need to take this lesson we have learned from one part of the planet to another. According to a United States Government Accountability Office report, there were almost 5,500 active satellites in orbit as of spring 2022, and it is estimated that an additional 58,000 will be added by 2030. These satellites will provide many important services, but this predicted growth of the industry could make large parts of the Earth's orbit unusable. The scientists who wrote the article in Science are experts in a wide variety of disciplines from satellite technology to ocean plastic pollution. They believe that this estimated rapid growth of the satellite industry presents an urgent need for a global agreement on how to best govern our planet's orbit. As per the University of Plymouth, the scientists acknowledge that a number of industries and countries are starting to focus on satellite sustainability, but they say that this should be enforced to include any nation that plans to deploy satellites. According to them, any agreement should include measures to implement producer and user responsibility for satellites and debris from the time they launch. The agreement should also take into account the commercial costs of these responsibilities and should incentivize accountability. Reuters had earlier reported that the U.S. government is attempting to set new space hygiene norms in response to the growing swarm of space debris. Earlier this month, NASA announced that the International Space Station had to fire its thrusters for over just 6 minutes in order to avoid collision with the satellite. There is increasing concern about the amount of space debris that is accumulating in Earth's orbit. This debris includes discarded rocket parts, defunct satellites, and other man-made objects that are no longer in use. If left unchecked, this debris could pose a significant risk to active satellites, spacecraft, and even astronauts. Some scientists and experts are advocating for a treaty to govern space debris, similar to the way that international agreements have been reached to protect the world's oceans. The idea is that such a treaty could establish rules and regulations for the responsible use and disposal of objects in space, as well as mechanisms for monitoring and enforcing compliance.